Hi everybody, my name is Andrea of MAKADREZ.com. Today I'm sitting here with Kiera Ingram. How are you today?
Good, how are you?
For those of you who don't know, Kiera is a real estate owner and also owner of her own company, real estate management company.
Real estate brokerage, yes.
Real estate brokerage company based in Philly. So tell us a little bit about that.
So I started AOC Real Estate, which is an independent real estate brokerage in Philadelphia. I've been a broker for 2 years in Pennsylvania as well as Georgia. And we're a small boutique agency and I love it.
So how long have you said you've been doing brokerage for 2 years?
Right, but I've been in real estate for 12 years.
12 years? Wow.
Yeah, so it's one of the first things I ever did. I got my real estate license. And then I've been doing real estate ever since. So
what are the common issues that you find that first-time home buyers usually go through?
Especially in our communities, is that they don't even know that they can become a homeowner. So a lot of people think that they can't qualify because they feel like you have to have perfect credit or like you have to have you can't make any mistakes or you have to make a certain amount of money. When in actuality, you can become a homeowner with like a 580 credit score, which is really low. You can become a homeowner. So we kind of disqualify ourselves before we even start the process.
But what does somebody with that type of credit score have to do?
The first thing I tell people to do is to connect with a real estate agent, because a real estate agent is kind of like your social worker. They're going to connect you with all the resources that you need and hold your hand through the process. So based off of your credit, they can tell you which lenders would be willing to lend to you.
Really?
Yeah.
But you know what? I always had a thought that for those individuals that do have lower credit scores, that their interest payments on their mortgage would be much higher. Is that true?
That is true. So say you have a 580 credit score, you've made mistakes, but now you're in the process of getting your credit together. You purchase at a 580 credit score. Usually when you go to the real estate agent, if your score is a 580, they'll tell you a few things to do to make it go up just a little bit. But they'll get it up enough so that you can get approved for a loan. You get your loan, and then you can refinance after you've done more stuff to improve your credit. So you might pay a higher rate for your first few months or maybe even a year, and then you refinance at a better rate because then your credit is better.
But how long do you have to wait until you're eligible to refinance?
Usually 6 months to a year.
6 months? Of being a first-time home buyer, only 6 months you go already refinance.
Because when you first get your home, your credit is going to go up a lot just from making your mortgage payments. That's one of the things that impacts your credit the most. So if you make those monthly payments on time for your new mortgage, then your credit score is going to go up. You're going to keep doing the things that your agent and your lender has told you to do, and then you're going to try to refinance.
Wow. I never knew that.
Yeah.
I always thought that in order for someone to refinance, you have to wait at least 5 years or something like that when you're a first-time home buyer, 2 to 5 years. Because what I know is that, I don't even know, I'm asking you right now. When people have to buy homes, first-time home buyers, you have to wait at least 2 years before you're eligible to sell your home. Is that true? No.
It depends on the type of loan you have. So if you get a conventional mortgage, then no, that's not true. You can purchase your home today, and then if you want to sell it in 6 months, you can sell it in 6 months.
Oh, so basically the time frame is 6 months to whatever.
I mean, if you purchase the home today and you want to sell it next week, it's your house. You can sell it next week if it's a conventional loan. If you have an FHA mortgage, then what you're saying is that you're going to stay in your home for a year or better. So you can't get another FHA mortgage until you sell the home that you're in with the FHA mortgage. So FHA mortgage is the type of loan that most people get when their credit is kind of lower, or if they don't have a lot of money for their down payment. Because whereas a conventional loan, you might have to put anywhere from 3%. You can get a conventional loan with 3%, but most conventional loans you'll put between 3% to 25% down as a down payment. With an FHA, you only have to put 3.5%. So a lot of people get that type of loan so that they can put less money down. And then the credit requirements for FHA can be as low as a 580.
So how much you have to put down for a conventional?
A conventional, it can be up to 25%. So say you have pretty good credit and you want to get a conventional loan, you have the funds to kind of put down, then you might want to get a conventional loan instead. And each lender has their own products and, it's different pros and cons to each product.
So for first-time home buyers in the home buying market, if that's even the proper real estate market, I would say, what is the best market to buy your first home, would you say?
What is the best market to buy your first home?
As far as like state. Which one?
It depends. I tell people when you're going to purchase your home, you look at your exit plan first because it depends on what you're trying to do. So if you're going to purchase a home and you want to live in it and like raise a family and things like that, any market, any state, it can work out good, just depending on exactly what your exit strategy is. I like the Philadelphia market, especially for investors. It's a pretty good market for first-time homeowners. But
I heard about that. Philly's really, really good if you're looking to buy your Philadelphia period is really good if you're looking to buy your home.
Yeah, it has a lot of programs for first-time homeowners, especially like in my area where I live. I live in Drexel Hill in Pennsylvania. Mm-hmm. So in my whole municipality, which is Upper Darby, they give you $6,000 towards your down payment for first-time homeowners.
What costs come with that?
It's just a grant. So you apply for it. You have the house has to meet certain criteria, like you can't have chip paint, different things like that. Mm-hmm. But if you can qualify for it and you get the $6,000, then that can go towards your down payment.
Can anybody qualify for it, or is it just people solely that live in Philadelphia?
Specific area. So each area may have their own first-time homeowners program. Mm-hmm.
But first-time homeowners, does that apply to people that live within the state? Or say that I live in Georgia and I want to buy a house. I'm in New York, for example. I'm in New York right now. I want to buy a house in Philly. Mm-hmm. And I want to look up the grant starter in Philly to buy a home. Would I qualify for that?
You can still qualify for it because you're actually buying a home, first-time homeowners, but it's in a different state. It doesn't matter.
Okay. For some reason, I always thought that you had to live within the state for a certain period to even qualify for whatever grant the state was trying to offer.
No, not always, but each grant have their own criteria too, which is why I say, once you get with an agent, they're going to walk you through based off of your specific situation, which you qualify for. Because when you're getting matched up with a lender in the beginning, all of that stuff is going to be very important. So if you need a grant to go towards your down payment, you're going to need to talk to certain lenders that deal with certain grants, because not all lenders deal with all the grants.
You hear that, people? Because I just got schooled by Kiera on home buying just now. So let us know a little bit more about your organization that you do run in Philly.
So I have an organization called Advantage Business Academy where we provide support services to small business owners and entrepreneurs. I found that ethnic or urban entrepreneurs, whatever you want to call it, we don't have a lot of resources readily available to us, and being an entrepreneur in general is a lonely thing. So a lot of times people don't really understand that you say you work for yourself, but you can't go and hang out. Because they're like, oh, you make your own schedule. So we kind of...
It's so true.
Right.
It's
they
so
think
true.
that you can just do it.
It's like, oh, you're the boss. Like, what do you mean? It's kind of like, if I don't make this work, it's not going to work.
At all. Right. So we created like a support system for entrepreneurs. We also offer free licensed real estate classes where people can come and receive the classes that they need to become a real estate agent, and continue education classes once you already have a real estate license. We're looking to add other coursework that is state approved so that people can come and get different licenses and certifications that they need.
So right now, your focus is to getting more people within the real estate market.
No, my focus is really just helping entrepreneurs in general, because every real estate agent is an entrepreneur.
That is true. Yeah, it is true.
Because you're really your own business, even though you work for a brokerage.
So, what type of people that you have in the I'm not gonna say support group,
right?
Because it's not like you're like, hey, what do you
right?
It's more so like your organization. What kind of people and their businesses that you do have?
We have everything from real estate agents to we have an owner of a wedding officiant service. We have caterers. We have notaries. We have just about everything you can imagine. A lot of nonprofits that are like startups or grassroots nonprofits.
So what did you do to grow it?
Just word of mouth. Basically, it's such a need for help for urban entrepreneurs that just talking to other people, finding out that they also need help, and then just kind of getting together and providing different workshops. I do workshops that deal with like bookkeeping and how to start your business, how to launch your business, just everything from the beginning. I usually tell people I'm really good at the A to launch part, and then I can refer people to the resources they need after that part.
So basically, because you do say you are licensed in Atlanta and licensed in Philly. Mm-hmm. Did you see that lack in both markets, or is it something that, like, what made you want to start that?
I have family in Georgia, So
Okay.
I was like, oh, I want to get my license there, and as well as Pennsylvania, that's where I live. But Georgia is also like a great reciprocal state, meaning that if I get a license there, I can just fill out a piece of paper and have a license in a lot of other places. So I know looking forward that I do want to open up brokerages in other areas. So I knew that Georgia was a must.
What would you say? What are the advantages of owning property that you see people don't take advantage of that they should take advantage of when they do own their property?
The biggest thing is to use it as a tool to build wealth. So a lot of civil rights actions and laws that allow people to become homeowners that were not in place before. One of the biggest reasons why they weren't in place was because it was to keep people from obtaining wealth. So when you own a property, you're able to take equity from that property, pay for your children to go to college. You can pay for more properties. You could start a business. So with us being so used to renting and throwing that money out the window, you lose all of that wealth building that you could be taking advantage of. So I think that's the biggest thing that people don't really realize. You are going to pay less when you own a property than you would for rent. You almost pay half of what you would for rent. So take that money and really do something that's going to build wealth with it.
It's like I was always told that like within the New York market itself for real estate, it's saturated, oversaturated, and you have to have that perfect credit score to even be eligible to even get some type of property.
Right.
And some people have that thought that they have to go outside of New York to basically build that wealth in order to get assets within New York. How do you feel about that?
Well, we see a lot of investors from New York. A lot of our clients are actually from New York.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we have a lot of people come from New York. They invest in Philadelphia, and then they want us to manage their property and then just send them a check, basically. So we see a lot of that.
So a lot of people are going out to Philly just to get rental property.
Yeah, because here it's so much more expensive. So the rental properties that you can get in Philadelphia that you might pay $100,000 for, that same property in New York, you might pay $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 for that same property. So especially if you have limited funds, it's a lot easier to start someplace where the property values are less.
So is it true that you could literally buy a property where people are living there already and all they do is just change ownership and they don't lose, they still have their residential, they still have the same tenants that were living there when you bought it are still there, but all you do is just collect their rent now.
Yeah.
And is it true you can really do that?
Yes, it's called a turnkey property. So if you find a property, it's already tenant occupied, you negotiate everything with that owner and then you just switch ownership and now you begin collecting the rent to that property.
How do you go about that? Because somebody was telling me about that, and I found that to be really interesting.
Yeah.
So how exactly would somebody go about finding those type of properties?
You just ask your real estate agent, like let them know that you want to find tenant occupied properties, and they literally can send you a list of properties that are tenant occupied and how much they collect for rent, and then you can decide from there how much money you're looking to have monthly coming in, and then you can kind of work out the numbers from that point.
Can anybody be eligible for that, or do you have to have that good credit score to be eligible?
No, you can be eligible for that just like you would a regular residential property. It's only that your down payment is probably going to be more. So whereas with a regular property, a residential that you're going to live in, your down payment for FHA is going to be 3.5%. If you get a property that you're not going to live in, that you're investing in, now you have to pay more because you're probably going to need a conventional loan, and you might have to pay up to that 20%.
Really?
But again, if you buy...
How do they know that? Maybe I want to live on the first floor.
Yeah.
How do they know?
They don't know. They go by honor system.
So, how do you balance being... Because I know you're a mother.
Yes.
And how do you balance it all? Because it seems like you're doing a lot.
I am doing a lot. And I tell people when they ask me that, I'm like, I really don't know how I balance it all. I've been married for 16 years in August, and I have 4 children. So...
You have 4 children?
Yes.
You don't look like it.
I know people think that I'm younger than I am all the time. I have a 14-year-old, a 10-year-old, an 8-year-old, and a 6-year-old.
Wow.
Yeah, so my life is like...
They must think you're their big sister when you walk in the street.
Yeah.
Like, hey, tell your mother to call me. It's not like I am their mother.
Yeah, but I just try to schedule everything out. I think that's like the biggest thing. My agents and my family, they call me a nerd because I have like an app for everything from grocery lists to like school schedules and everything else. Everything is on my phone in some kind of app. If it's not in an app, then I have no idea where I'm going to go or what I'm going to get to. So I just try to keep everything on a strict schedule, and then I pray. That's really it. That's all I got.
Faith helps a lot with
Yes.
a lot of things. I definitely do agree with you on that.
Yeah.
So did you always know you wanted to be an entrepreneur? Is it something kind of like as you started doing real estate, you realized, hey, like I'm an entrepreneur and I can really do this full time living to help other people realize what they are really entrepreneur when they do real estate?
Well, I knew I wanted to be an entrepreneur since I was 7 years old. I had my own community business. I had my grandma take me to a place called Farmore, which was like a big pharmacy, and I used to buy candy. And then I used to put it in my little notebook, how much I spent for each piece, and break it down. And then I used to take it to school and bag it up and sell it to the kids and sell it to the teachers until I got suspended. And then I just knew from that point, like, this is what I want to have my own business and work for myself. And ever since then, I've been through a lot of businesses. I've tried a lot of things that did not work out, but I always knew that I wanted to have my own business.
So what has been your biggest challenge along the way?
Finding something that I love enough to do all the time. Because a lot of times people, they want their own business, but it's just the idea of having their own business. Like, they know they want to be a boss, but they don't know what it is that they want to do. But until you find that thing that you love to do, you really won't do it consistently. Because it takes so much to be your own boss and to own a business and to manage people. So if you really don't love it, you're not going to be consistent with it, and it's not going to work out.
But for those individuals, what would you? Because you it seems like you've done a lot,
Right.
and you are doing a lot still right now.
Right.
So how did you find this is what I want? How do you really find when you don't know?
You just try different things out. And I know people are like thinking that that's not like the responsible thing to do, but it really is. Like, unless you try things out, you will never know what you really love to do. And I mean, I've done everything from event planning, and then I had a daycare, and then I'm like, I don't really want to work with kids, I want to work behind the scenes. But I just tried different things out until I realized, like, oh, I really do love real estate. Like, I had my real estate license and was always doing other things too. And I wasn't sure that I wanted to put all my eggs in one basket with real estate. But then once I finally did, it was like, okay, this is really what I want to do.
So what is the number somebody really needs to get into the market? Because you always hear save money if you want to invest your money into real estate. But what is the number? Because you just said that you don't need much.
Right.
So what would you say approximately the right number would be to start?
Well, to get the exact amount that you need to get started, I would say let your agent know when you're ready to get into the process. Like 6 months to a year before you even are ready to buy, just connect with the agent, let them know that you want to buy, and they can give you an exact number based off of your income and your credit. But if you just want like a general number, I would say between $5,000 or $6,000 is a good tool to have to save if you're going to invest in the Philadelphia market. You know, in New York, it's different.
Yeah,
it's a lot different.
Monster,
right,
New York.
It's a totally different thing. So I can only speak to the Philadelphia market.
But even so, with that being said, for those individuals who want to get into commercial real estate, what is the difference between that? Like, what would be like? When is the best time to get into that? That's a whole different monster.
It's a whole different monster, and I really suggest that people own their own home before they purchase any kind of commercial investment. Only because it's going to take a lot more effort. Commercial properties, especially if it's something big, it takes a lot more with inspections and different things like that. It's a lot more paperwork, and you need more money to put in.
So when you say need more, say that somebody was investing in out of state, basically. Philly, let's just say, because they're based in Philly. They want to buy commercial property in Philly, but they're investing in properties, like real estate properties in Chicago, Ohio, Maryland, places like that. And they want to get commercial property located within Philly. Does that help because they have different assets in different places, so they kind of build that rapport that, hey, you are a good home, what is that? Owner. You are a good owner. And basically that you do have the credibility behind you, that you do pay your mortgage, you do your payments on time, and you have all these properties. Does that help you? It
can help, but it also can hurt because everything is based off your debt to income ratio. So they're always going to compare how much debt you have to how much income you're bringing in. So if you own 10 properties in 10 different states, but only 5 of them are income producing, then those other 5 are going to hurt you because of the debt of the whole portfolio. So it just depends on how much money is coming in and how much money is going out.
Wow, that's really interesting. For some reason, I would have the thought that if you have property that you own in different states, and you do want to invest in another state, just like say that you want to buy like a big building, but you have different rental properties in different states, so you have like a vacation home over here, a rental home over here, a few rental homes, vacation homes, and your home in wherever you are, but you want to buy a building in one state. That will help you. I didn't know that they would look at that, but I figured that because you're making your payments on time, that holds leverage over anything else.
Not with a traditional lender, it won't hold as much leverage, which what they're all looking at, whether you're buying residential or commercial, is your debt to income ratio. So as long as those properties from the other states are income producing, then even though they also have a certain amount of debt connected to them, the income is going to be a benefit to you. But if they're not income producing, or if some of your properties have tenants that are being evicted and you're not really paying rent, or they're empty, things like that are going to count against you.
Really? That is interesting. So basically, it doesn't really matter how much property that you own. It really does not.
I mean, if you have a lot of equity in the property, maybe, but then there would be something different.
You say that was the case. You have properties that do have a lot of equity. You do want to come from rental properties, and now you want to get into commercial properties, and you want to get into instead of buying the 2-family rental properties, now you want to get like a apartment building that has like 30 different apartments in it.
Right. So it depends on the situation, but if someone came and they have 10 properties in 10 different states, then if each property has equity in it, they might not want to go the route of getting a regular traditional lender. They might want to just take equity out of each property and just purchase it for cash, because then you want to get a better deal on a commercial property. Because then you're paying cash for it, so then you might pay 15-20% less than you would if you had a regular lender. So it just all depends on each individual situation. But it's different ways to work around different things so that you can benefit the best of the buyer.
You must be the go-to person at everybody when it comes to buying a home.
A lot of investors call me, like a lot of investors talk to me because I can kind of look out the box, because a lot of times when you go to somebody, they only know what they know. So they're only going to say, oh yeah, just call Wells Fargo, call this person, call this lender. But sometimes, what if that's not the best fit for you, for your situation? So I always try to look at the end result and then work my way back out of it.
So do you really need to get loans from the bank when you do buy a home? Is that really necessary, or there's other ways around it?
If you're buying a home to live in as a residential property, that's probably the best way to get the property. But if you're investing, that's not always the best way. So if you're investing, you might want to go through a hard money lender. It's like other alternative lending that you might want to consider if you're an investor. Versus if you're going to live in a property, most alternative lenders are not going to give you money.
That is interesting.
Because for alternative lender or hard money lender, they're going to want a payment. They want everything to be paid off in 5 years or less. Whereas if you go to a traditional lender, you get 15 or 30 years to pay everything off. So,
do you have a curriculum that you do in your program that you have going on? Because it seems like you're very knowledgeable when it comes to investment, real estate, and something like that. And with entrepreneurship, when it comes to ownership, means a lot in entrepreneurship as far as having to grow your business.
Right.
Do you teach do you have a curriculum that you do teach when people enter your organization, when they join in?
We do have a curriculum, but we also have outside people come and share their experiences. So a lot of our workshops and seminars are basically other entrepreneurs to share where they fell in areas or where they made mistakes in areas to kind of help people avoid the mistakes that they made. You know, for the real estate part, we had like a state-approved curriculum that we had to provide to the state and get approved, which is kind of like what every other real estate school has, so we provide that.
How have you grown in this entrepreneurial journey as a businesswoman, an entrepreneur, an investor, an individual?
I think the way that I've grown the most is just learning how to trust my gut and learning how to take risks. Like initially, I was so nervous, like not knowing to trust my gut or not, and trying to read everything that everybody else has done. And sometimes you don't have to reinvent the wheel, but you just have to kind of trust yourself along the process. And everybody's journey is not going to be the same. So I just had to trust that whatever I'm going to do, it's going to work out. It's going to work out for my good, whether it's learning a lesson and failing in something and having to learn a lesson from it, or if it's a success and then I try to repeat the same thing that I did before. The other thing that I've learned is just how important the black dollar is, or the brown dollar, because
when you say the brown dollar, define that.
I mean the money that African Americans and Hispanics spend in America is so important, and a lot of times if we want to make social changes, it's just all about where we spend our money.
It's so true. Mm-hmm. It's because we are the consumers, right. And people don't realize how much the brown dollar, as you would say, are the consumers within America.
Right.
If we boycott something like the boycott that's going on with Starbucks, right. I'm pretty sure it's going to affect Starbucks tremendously. Like when they have the Black Friday boycott, it does a lot of effects for many things. Right. Many people may look at it as like, oh, like, well, that has nothing to do with me. I'm still going to buy there. But no, you have to understand what you're investing into. Right. This is why I say invest within your own community. Perfect example, in the Jewish community, the money just circulates around. Right. In our community, brown community, it does not stay. No. It does not stay. I believe within the Jewish community that it stays at least like 30 days or
something like that. Yeah.
Around that. I don't know the exact number, and excuse me if I don't have it properly. Please don't judge me. I don't know. I'm just making I'm making something based on something I read before in the past. Mm-hmm. But within the Black community, I think it stays like 2 days, maybe 2 to 3 days at most. It stays, and that's crazy when you really look at it. And it says a lot as far as how much we could be investing in our community and helping our community if we just support our local Black-owned businesses. Right. But not only that, now you support them, because some of our Black-owned businesses are not professional.
That's true. We have to come up.
We have to, and that's like a whole other thing to talk about. But that's why some people do not invest in it, because they feel like, oh, Black-owned people who are of color are not professional enough. Right. And it's kind of like, why?
Right, and we have to really be honest, because a lot of services that we use from other cultures are not professional either.
They're not.
But we just use
but we are more critical and critique more on our own culture.
Right, and we should not do that. We should just look for, if we don't like one service, even if it's from whatever culture, we don't like one service, you know, how they treated you or the service they provide, you just look for another store, another business. Mm-hmm. We need to do the same thing within our community. Because if you have a Black-owned spa, there's more than one. So you just need to look out and look for another one if you didn't like one. You just can't write off all Black businesses and say, oh, they're not professional, and then go and give our money to someone else who also doesn't treat us the right way either.
Right. What advice would you give to anybody who's looking into getting into real estate that you feel like somebody would have told you when you bought your first property? Because when you bought your first property, did you know about the real estate industry already?
I knew just a little bit, but not really. I bought my first property at 21, so I wasn't really knowledgeable. Mm-hmm. But I just knew that I wanted to own something about it. I wasn't really knowledgeable about the process of it.
So what mistakes that you would tell somebody to avoid that you did?
Well, at 21, I was just looking for all of the wrong things. So, like, I was looking for, yes, the area that I was living in, but I wasn't looking for functional things like how many sockets and how many...
Sockets?
Yeah, like electrical sockets and different things like that. I wasn't looking at that kind of stuff at 21. I was just looking like, oh, this is cute. Like, is this going to fit in here? And is this going to fit in here? And then once I started having kids, I'm like, wait a minute, I should have been looking for how many electrical sockets. I should have been looking at the water heater and when the last time it was serviced. I wasn't looking at anything like that. So I think that just going into it, thinking, again, about your exit plan, like how long do you plan on being in the property. At 20 or 21, you're thinking, oh, I might just be here for a couple of years. And then you look back 5 years later, like, oh, I was here for 5 to 7 years, because that's the average amount of time most people stay in one home. So just looking at things in that way. So if you're starting out and you're single, then make the best decision or the best move for a single person with a plan to be somewhere else in 5 to 7 years.
Interesting. So I'm just curious, because you've been in the real estate industry for over 10 years now. Mm-hmm. How has it changed from your observation, from your perspective?
Well, it's funny because people always refer back to the bubble, the real estate bubble that crashed in 2007.
And they said it may happen soon again.
It will definitely happen again, which people don't realize it always happens. It's a cycle. So just because it's not publicized as much, it's something that consistently occurs. So depending on the market, it'll start in one area of the country and then you'll see it kind of flow out to the rest of the areas. Right now in Pennsylvania, it's a seller's market where I'm at in Philadelphia, or right around Philadelphia. But it's a seller's market and then the inventory is low, and then it'll slowly change over to a buyer's market. It's just the cycle of the industry. So we just don't hear about it, and it's like always like a lot of panic about it on the news. But usually by the time we hear it on the news, whatever's happening has already been happening. So it's kind of behind.
It's interesting. One of my cousins bought a home in Philly. I think he bought it 3 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
He was on the verge of moving to New York.
Mm-hmm.
Then I was talking to him. I was like, oh, I thought you was moving to New York. What happened? He was like, literally, the rent I pay in New York, I own 2 houses in Philly.
Yes, that's very true.
I was like, what?
Yes.
Yeah.
New York is rough. It's a rough market.
It is.
Yeah, I know a lot of agents here, and they're great, and I just don't know how they manage it. But it's a really hard market here.
Yeah, like they say, you gotta be a fight and both.
Yeah.
So manage in New York.
Yeah, it's true.
What is success to you?
To me, success is being able to do whatever I want with my time and not have to worry about any financial issues relating to it. So I want to be able to sleep in late if I want to, or make it to my kids' dance recital and not have to worry about if I can afford to do it, if I can take it off. Like, that's what success is to me. It's not really about a money amount. Like, I know some people are like, oh, I want to make $1 million. And I used to say that when I first started off, but now I'm just like, whether I make $1 million or not, if I make millions of dollars but I can't make it to a recital, that's not good enough.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what success is to me.
It's funny, I hear that a lot. A lot of people, the tangible things that you see as far as the materialistic things and the money, it's not what they, once you get to a certain point, it doesn't matter no more.
Right.
It's just family, friends, being able to have time to just do whatever you want is what matters. I realize a lot of people care for right now when you get to a certain point within your career.
Right, that's true. And I've had a lot of losses in my life. I lost my brother in November. And
I'm sorry to hear that.
Thank you. And I lost my best friend who was like my sister 5 years ago. And sometimes when you have losses, it makes you realize like the money part is really just not that important, because you can make a lot of money, you can have a big house, you can have a small house. It's always going to be stuff that you're going to tweak wherever you are. You can have the best car, and then next year the best car is something else, and then you want to buy something else. And at some point, you just get tired of chasing the material things, and what you are going to remember is the time that you get to spend with people.
Anybody want to find more about what you do, find more information about your company, the organization they want to join it? It's more so like a community, right?
Yeah. It's more like a membership community where you can join as a member, and then you get all the perks or whatever we're doing, you just become a part of what we're doing.
Okay. So if anybody wants to find any information about any of that, where can they go?
The best thing to do would be to email me at Kiera, Keira, at growwithkiera.com. And I'm also on Facebook, Kiera Ingram, SHAKEIRA.INGRAM.
So we just heard it from Kiera Ingram. She dropped some knowledge on exactly what to do if you want to invest, how to properly invest, what you really need to invest, and also basically let you know about her organization and the things that she's doing to make innovative moves in Philly. Definitely check us out every Tuesday for new episodes. You can find Kiera at
www.aocrealestate.com, or you can email me at Kiera, Keira, at growwithkiera.com.
What she said, remember that, because Kiera is, as you see, she's very informative and she knows exactly what she's talking about. So if you need some knowledge on how to properly invest, find out about the market, find out the proper homes, find out information on can you even invest based on your credit score, definitely contact Kiera because she'll let you know. She'll let you know. So my name is Andrea again from MAKADREZ.com. Definitely look out every Tuesday for new episodes for more dope entrepreneurs like Kiera, and we'll see you soon.